welcome. My name is Neil Thrussell, and I'm really excited to have with this wonderful set of co-hosts, panelists, incredible human beings with me today. And I'm going to pick on one of the sweetest people I know in the entire planet to introduce yourself. Jean, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, thank you for those kind words. My name is Jean Kay. I'm a poet, and I've written a poem every morning for 22 and a half years. And it still amazes me. I know it amazes other people, but it amazes me too. And I live in Tsawwassen in Delta, just south of Vancouver, BC. And it's a beautiful day, and it's a beautiful place to live. And I'm so thrilled to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
You're most welcome. And our next wonderful guest, Yvonne. Tell us about you.
Is that me?
Yeah.
Me? Yes. So thank you, Neil. I'm also thrilled to be here. Yvonne Heath from Muskoka, Ontario. I am a nurse turned author, speaker, change maker. I realized we are a society that is very ill prepared for grief. And so I have a new mission of helping people to prepare for grief and life's challenges and help them navigate through once they arrive. And I also bring heart and humor because I'm very, very funny.
Is that what your husband says too?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
And then the ever talented, who I love to listen to sing, the incredible talented Sandy. Hello?
Thrilled to be here. Oh, hello. Sandy Dacey, voice coach, and first and foremost, a vocalist. So that started things off, and I've cut it into sharing my love of voice, that I help people sing better in the shower and in the world.
Oh, nice. I like that.
So to help me sing better in the shower, are you joining me in the shower? Or is that not too
Separate showers.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Distancing, Neil, distancing.
that got me.
I did say that or if I didn't say it, I mean to say that I love Sandy, so it's like, okay. My brother Jamie.
We gotta do.
Yeah, my brother Jamie, tell the world about you.
Sorry, you guys had me distracted at singing in the shower. All I could think of was that scene from Elf where Will Ferrell and her name is escaping me right now. They're singing next to each other in the shower and stuff. I'm sorry, that's what I pictured with you guys. Oh my gosh, it is so absolutely great to be here with everyone today. I'm just loving this. My name is Jamie Admachuk. I'm with UE Coaching, and I absolutely have a passion to see businesses grow and experience massive success. Neil, you know what? Thanks for having me on here. And all you wonderful ladies, my gosh, thank you for coming on here with us. This is just incredible.
Yay.
So welcome.
So I didn't do much of an introduction for me. My name is Neil Thrussell. I am a 3 times best-selling author in spiritual fiction. My books are A Warrior's Heart. I co-founded a company called Best You Can Be, and I am all about getting people to the root of why they're here and living a passionate life while they have time on this, so that they leave this earth going, oh my gosh, that was good.
Wow.
My question for the day, has anybody here ever failed at anything?
Oh, this is a funny show.
Oh, yeah.
Am I the only perfect person here that has never failed?
How do you do it, Neil? How do you do it?
So how do you get past? So apparently at some point in your time you have failed royally in your life. At some point, and you've stubbed your toe, and after you've said all of those colorful soliloquies and you've made deep, dark poetry, how have you moved beyond that? Anyone want to take a stab at what you did next?
Oh boy.
Just having faith that you can keep going. And I just happen to have a poem in front of me called Have Faith.
Just happen.
Of course.
Everything's working according to plan, but the plan is not always ours. We can worry about the outcome, but worry wastes precious hours. A good idea has all it needs to prosper and to grow. If we put our intentions to work for us, momentum continues to flow. This paragraph I love. Doors may close along our way, but what we need to know is that they close behind us, and they're meant to, so we can grow.
Ooh.
We may want results much quicker than the way they tend to appear. Results unfold when the time is right, when our pathway has become clear. What's important to remember is we need to stay on track, not be tempted to detour, and never try to go back. We are not who we were yesterday, nor yet who we'll be tomorrow. Now is the only time we have. Let's live it with joy, not sorrow. Life is a constant process of change. Change is what life is about. When we walk on with confidence, faith eliminates all our doubt.
Ooh, so good.
There you go.
Awesome. Nice, Jean.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And it's so important. I mean, people think that, you know, when they failed or they've had a challenge that didn't materialize the way they wanted it to, they think that the door is closed in front of them, and it isn't. It's closed back there. So get on, you know, move on and go to the next thing that the universe has in store for us. And we never know what that is. And it's always exciting.
Thank you.
Love that. May I chime in, Neil?
No, yes.
Well, because this is just, there's my passion right there. When we think of it as something, a failure, as this is what we thought was going to happen, and then we're angry and upset that it didn't go the way we thought. It's grief. We are grieving. And when you can acknowledge and allow your feelings, right? Many people think grief is just about end of life. Grief is our reactions to loss, transitions, and change. So when something, as we feel, is a failure, we have to grieve it and say, oh my gosh, I thought this was going to go this way. This was really hard. Allow your pity party. And then the question to me that helps me go on is, now what?
Yeah.
Right? Now
Exactly. Now what?
Now what?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's beautiful, because with this COVID, most people don't realize we need to do a mourning process, because when we went into it, we're not going to come out the same way, and we need to recognize and honor, in my view, honor that, grieve it, and then ask the question.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. I'm feeling all of you with all of this, just your responses. And for myself, it was a similar situation, but it was on stage. And believe it or not, I was singing the song "Don't Stop Believin'" by Journey. And suddenly, exactly, I wasn't able to hear myself anymore. And we're on this really big stage. So all I could hear was the bounce back from the back of this massive room that we were in. And I'm trying to find somebody to help with the logistics, not happening. And I could hear that something was out of tune, and it was all I had to follow. So I don't have perfect pitch. So off I went, and I could tell it was just a disaster. So, but coming out of that, and I'm thinking, okay, well, here's the name of the song. I maybe could look at having faith. And meanwhile, I'm going through my own grieving and decompression process, because it was a really big show. So we were able to get it sorted out. But it was interesting, just my internal process. And I don't know how or why, but a song that I had written probably about 10 years before that, the bridge came to my mind, and it was, pull your dreams out of your mind, take a walk with the divine within you and search your heart, turn it inside out, embrace your truth. It'll come about and you will live your legacy and design a place of peace. So here's all these words that I'd written before coming back to me to help me navigate this challenging experience, which really felt like a failure. I really thought that I ruined the show and everything. I was, that's it. I'm out of here. I'll never eat lunch in this town again. But at the end of the day, it really ended up being something that served me well. And it, again, I was able to move through, figure out what to do for next time, and get myself into a better place where I could live my legacy, because that's what I believe I'm here to do with my voice and helping others find their voices.
Awesome.
Nice.
Beautiful.
That's exciting. I get excited for failure. Failure, to me, it triggers excitement, because every time I've failed, every time something hasn't gone the way I expected it to, right? And there's that thing, expectations. We know what that does. Every time something doesn't go the way I expected, it's like, yay, I get to learn something new, and I get to have another crack at doing this even better, even faster, even quicker, even differently. And that just, it excites me. Failure is exciting. You can all see the poster that I've got in the back here. The third one up from the bottom is failure. Third one up from the bottom is failure. 100%. I need to have that failure so that I can actually recognize where I'm growing and where the opportunities are for me to do even better. Failure, I get excited for it.
Awesome.
It's amazing how our psyche, like, we can learn a lesson, and we're hardwired that if we're successful, we take it for granted. But it's when we have earned it, we've got the scrapes, the bruises, the battle scars, is when we really, for me personally, I embody it, when I have had to fight for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I haven't had to fight for anything because, once again, I'm perfect.
Good for you. Oh, you're the one.
The 1% of perfection is somewhere around here.
That's fun.
So what things do you use? Tools, tips, techniques, go for walks. What do you use to help lift your spirit so that you can move forward after grief, after something has not gone your way? Anyone, throw it out there. What are you using?
I'm using nature. I just outside our kitchen door, we have bird feeders, hummingbird, and also suet and sunflower seeds for the songbirds. We have 8 goldfinch at the moment. We have chickadees, we have finches, we have downy woodpecker, we have flickers, and I could literally sit there all day. I mean, it's not just entertainment; it's soul food. And beyond that is a magnolia tree that's beautiful in the spring, and of course it's hiding all the birds now. We don't see them, but just I know there's a lot of people live in apartments, but we're blessed to have a garden, and just to take 10 minutes and walk around the garden, it's magical what it does for you. If you just open the door and let go, just leave all the stuff behind and just walk out into the garden. It really is magical what it'll do for you. So, and for those who are in apartments, walk around the neighborhood, look at the flowers, and don't just glance, have a look at the flowers and see all the colors and the way they're built. And it's just amazing what's out there.
That is Jean, that's what I would call finding your post. That's something that you can hang on to in times of despair, that could be there for you anytime. So for some people, it's their religion, a spirituality, meditation, yoga, nature, song. And for me, it's nature as well. And when people are grieving or really struggling, what is going to help them feel better is as unique as they are, And one thing that I always share in all my presentations is that we've created in our family self-care toolboxes. And in our self-care toolbox, because I know when I'm grieving and struggling or having, whatever's going on in my life, it's challenging, my brain stops working. It's like two wires are it's like deer in the headlights. I can't even think. And so we've created these self-care toolboxes to help us navigate through our grief and challenges. And so in there, I have beautiful trinkets that chemotherapy patients had. I was a chemo nurse for many years, that they gave me beautiful letters of thanking me when, someone's read my book or seen a presentation. I have all of these things that help me feel better. And I also have a branch in there that reminds me, Jean, to go out in nature, because that is where my soul heals. And it also reminds me, as nature is in continual change, that change is the only constant. And what I'm going through now is also temporary. It will change. Self-care toolbox.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Oftentimes I'll reach out if I try not to stay in a cave. So I'll contact somebody, even if it's just a text or just something, and just say, I just need 5 minutes. And if you're open to that, can we just have a chat, or can I just listen, or can you just listen, or, whatever I need at the time. And I'm so blessed with just such a rich family tribe around me that's probably one of my first go-tos. I'll probably sit with it for a little bit, and then I don't want to stay there too long, because I've done that in the past, and it's reaching out to community, and then whatever happens after that. So it could be a walk, it could be, singing a song together, could be anything, but could be art. Sometimes they'll just pull out some acrylics and just whatever, just see what comes up. I'm not much of a drawer or a painter, but sometimes it's just the color. It shifts me. So.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. For myself, I'm going to answer with a question here. For myself, I go to a place of gratitude. I find something, 1, 2, 3 things, whatever it is, that I can be truly grateful for. And the question that I'd like to pose is, of everyone that's on here right now, are there any particular practices that you practice that really revolve around gratitude, going to that space, that place of being in a state of gratitude?
Well, for me, it's my morning writing, and it's first thing I do every day. And I go to the same place. It's just behind me here, and there's my books, and as you say, color. I write in an artist sketchbook, and I take 3 oil pastels, and I create with color on the page. And my mother and my sister were professional. My mother was, and my sister is a professional artist. My oldest sister and I sang, so that was the way it was in our family. We were the singers, they were the artists. So I didn't profess to be any kind of an artist, but I'm getting better after 22 years of doing this. But I just express with those colors, and sometimes it looks like something, sometimes it's just color on a page. But I am whatever that tells me. And then I start to write on the other side of the page, and it fills the page, and it usually rhymes second and fourth. And it may change from what I start out, that the content may change, but it's just whatever comes through. And everybody in my life knows that first half hour, 3/4 of an hour of a day is mine. And I don't talk. That's me. So I can be home. I can be at a friend's house. I can be 30,000 feet. I can be on a cruise ship. It doesn't matter. That half hour is mine. And it's so important to have quiet time in our lives, even if it's 10 minutes of quiet time, just for you. You're important and worthy and, deserving of spending time with yourself. Yeah, it's powerful.
Beautiful.
Jamie, I love that you mentioned gratitude. I feel like gratitude is one of the most underused, most powerful tools we have available to us anytime, anywhere. And I could probably count on maybe both hands how many times I haven't done this in the last 20 years. Every morning I name 10 things that I'm grateful for. Every morning, it's just, and most times when I go to bed as well, if I don't just fall asleep when I hit the pillow. On the days, and I've had big challenges, as we all have our story. On the days that my heart felt so broken and I just, there weren't wonderful things, like big things to be grateful for, I'd say, I am so grateful for the cup of coffee I had. It was so great. The shower was nice. I had hot shower. I love my shirt. I'm grateful to have a home. I'm grateful to have had the people supporting me. I'm grateful that the sun was shining. There is always something. And I always tell people we always have a choice. We don't always have the choice we wish we had. We can always choose to see, even in the mud, there's something to be grateful for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. I've been thinking too lately, and feeling as well, that often if something happens, it feels like there's more of a duality to it. So it's almost like you say, I can see the mud, but there's something else here, whatever that is. But the practice that I've been finding has been so beneficial, and I have to say as well that I know that this show was also born of COVID here, but is the time to meditate longer. And it's been fantastic to just have that time, like you say, Jean, just to be with yourself in quiet. And it reminds me, it's almost like I dissolve and go into some other place. And all there is energy. There's not, distinct beings and that kind of thing. And it's just such an astounding experience just to feel. And so I try and remind myself of that throughout the day, is just to anchor, to connect back to something that I experienced in my meditation. And I'll often put it on my phone, my cell phone, and see it, even just a reminder twice a day, and have it come up when I'm, head down writing something or whatever, and then I see it, and then it just reminds me of that veil that just disappears when I meditate. So it just feels like more of a oneness, and it just helps me feel connected and connective.
Nice.
Sweet. Thank you. And for me, gratitude comes for this vessel, this body. I'm grateful for this body, that when it's healthy, and I'm grateful because I love to run. And when I'm running, it's meditative. And when I can't run, I feel chunky. I feel like something's missing. And I've had some health issues that have taken me away from being able to run. So I'm really aware of how important health is. And I am so grateful to currently be helpful. And I'm grateful for the food, the quantity of food and nutrition and the supplements that are available to me living in a first world developed country. I am grateful for all that I have, and that I can share with another. Like, people are fighting and have fought some horrific health battles, and I've got low iron, kind of. That's about it. And so I'm like, thank you for giving me this body and having the sense to look after it. And not all my life did I have that common sense.
Yeah.
Are you running away, or are you running towards?
Depends on who's got the stick.
I can really relate to gratitude for health and the body. I was diagnosed with liver cancer 2.5 years ago, and it's not operable, and it's and the medics are all surprised I'm still here, and I'll as I've said before, I'll keep surprising them. It's and it's all about being grateful for all the little things. For yes, you wake up in the morning. I'm grateful I'm here. I'm grateful for the day, and just knowing that yes, we have control of our bodies and what we put in them, but and we also, in a medical situation, we still have that control, and we need to be our own advocates. It's I've got some amazing oncologists and doctors on my team, but they go with what the average is and what they've experienced, and I'm unique, and so none of those averages need apply to me. And I know somebody asked me again the other day, well, what about side effects, from chemo and stuff? And I said, I don't do side effects.
Good for you, Jean.
And I mean, it's true. You see commercials
That's
for medications on TV, and there's 3 things it'll do for you, and there's a list this long of the things that you have to be aware of. Well, if people dwell on that, it's not going to work. Yeah. So I mean, I just don't dwell on that. But because this is a as I say, it's inoperable, and usually by the time they find liver cancer, it's too late. So they haven't done a lot of research, into what to do in these cases. So I've told them I've got all my records, and for a price they can have them. They can rewrite the book.
Good for you, Jean.
Yeah.
Jean, I love that, because
wow, yeah.
What that's doing, right? That is quite literally the power of our focus. You've said some really, really key things here, and we've really got to talk about that for a second, because that's humongous. Yeah, we've got the 3 things that medication is going to do, and we've got the list of 20, 30, 40, 50 things that it's probably going to do to you. It's all the side effects and everything. And Yvonne, please, chime in on this one as well. The idea of telling someone, yes, you've got 3 months, 6 months, 2 years to live, whatever it is. I think what that does is it really sets up that focus in that person's mind that that's all I've got. I think, Jean, why you're just killing it, why you're crushing it, why you're doing so well, you're choosing not to believe any of that stuff, right? You're choosing to set your own focus on what it is you want, not what everyone else believes. You're not one of those statistics. You are someone unique, and that is amazing. That is simply outstanding.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And as I say, they, I go in and they say, oh, well, you're still here.
But that's because you are the expert on you, right? And
exactly.
And I mean, as a nurse for 30 years, we don't have long enough to get into that conversation, but
A nurse for 30 years. Were you too?
obviously. Obviously. Thank you for that. Cue Neil's compliment. Anyways, but those are, again, the choices, right? We always have a choice. You chose to be your own advocate, an expert on Jean, and you chose what information you were going to let in and what information you were going to focus on, right? And so, like, it's like in COVID. Here's all the things you can't do. Boo-hoo, that's sad. What can you do? And we always get the choice to reframe and what we put our focus on. And why don't we focus more on what we want? On what we want, not on what we don't want.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. And to question along the way. I mean, it's any type of cancer, you sort of, you get trapped into the recovery process, the chemo process, but no, don't get trapped. Just question it. And I mean, we're not statistics on a page. We're human beings, and we deserve to live. And and just be in charge of ourselves. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah, because you have your own inner doctor. We all do. And that's one of the biggest things, is to be able to take the time and space to even listen to that, in those quiet moments or any other time that, an opportunity arises.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
So if I was to inoculate you with all a big dose of love and happiness, what's the side effect?
More love and happiness.
More love and happiness. Anybody else?
Being our own best friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyone? Anyone?
I think it's going to have a reciprocal effect. I believe that that's really, truly a pay it forward effect in that you give that to me. It's my responsibility. It's my duty as a human being, as a part of the human species, to be able to pay that forward as well. I have a different belief. Maybe it's not that different of a belief, but when we're given something, it's our duty. The knowledge that I've amassed, it's my duty to share that with other business owners, business professionals. And that's what I absolutely love doing. When we're doing, Neil, I mean, you're a great big love bug. I know you are. I know you personally. We've spent tons of time together. And one of the things that you do is you genuinely love people. You love people without that expectation. And that's warming and it's opening. And it's such a beautiful thing that when we take that and we share that out, we magnify it. We take a little bit of our own love plus all the love we've been given and give that out there. Wow, I can literally change the world.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It's like leading by example. And that's kind of, how I feel. Most times my glass of ginger ale is more than half full and the bubbles just keep coming. And so that's just kind of the way I'm made. So I get it. And often I have, be the change you want to see going through my head. So that would be a side effect, is that look out, because I'm coming for you. And as soon as I can give you a hug, that's it. You're getting a chiropractic hug.
Can I share another poem with you? This is called Feel the Love, and I think it's appropriate for right now. Love surrounds us always, and yet there are times we doubt. We get completely off our track and forget what life is about, especially in the cities where hustle and bustle prevail, where there is so much pressure on whether we win or fail. We need to do a reality check, take stock of what we're doing, put our day job aside for a while, and follow dreams we're pursuing. We aren't meant to work 24 hours a day. We need a balance in life. We need to be our own best friend and put aside worry and strife. Life goes on every minute. Are we going to let it pass by? Are we missing opportunities without even questioning why? Make this the day you take time out to feel the love that surrounds you. Slow down so it can catch up to you. Power of that love will astound you. We tend to think we live life alone. That concept, I believe, is wrong. There is never a time when we are alone. We all have a presence that's strong. Feel the love.
Wow, beautiful. It's gorgeous, Jean.
Thank
Love
you.
That's awesome, Jean. Thank you.
So I saw on Facebook a while ago that one of my friends said that she was going to, when all of the COVID was over and it's safe to hug, she was starting a movement where she was going to hug to the point that it was going to be those awkward hugs. And then so I asked her, was it going to be a butt grab one? And she said, everyone's going to be a butt grab. It's going to make it awkward.
Watch out for her.
And she is the shyest, most introverted person in the whole world. So I'm like, okay, I'm in.
But isn't it true that we miss those hugs? Yeah.
It is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when it's appropriate, we need to bring back to the world. This is me saying we need to bring back, and I have strong introvert tendencies, bring back the hug. Because there will be people that have settled back into, well, no hugging's good, just back away. But I believe we need to bring that forward when it's safe to do so.
Yeah.
Neil, I'm so glad you share that, because that's something that I miss in a big way. I mean, I went out to the mall yesterday here, and there's actually one-way streets within the mall now. You can only walk up this side of the mall, and then you can only come back down this side. It's just we're and I get it. We've got social isolation, all this isolation and all that, but really it's so against what I've grown. I didn't grow up with a lot of hugs. I didn't, grow up with that or anything. And, I'd say the last probably 10 years, I've really been opened up to that, exposed to that. It's changed my life. And then to kind of have it taken away, I understand why. I'm not going to be one of those social anarchists. I understand why. But at the same time, I've found it a little bit difficult to deal with. Has anyone else felt that?
Oh, yeah. Yes, definitely. And it's the awareness of that. I think it's the awareness of how much we miss those hugs and how powerful they are, how meaningful. And I think of care homes too, where people, they never get hugged, they never get touched, and I think there's a whole new awareness of care homes, how they need that love, they need that loving, caring support, because they don't understand why there's a glass partition between them and somebody they're talking to on the phone that they used to hug all the time. I think the power of a hug is huge.
Won't it be wonderful when we are able to choose to go out with new gratitude, to hug a friend, to say hello, to not physically distance ourselves, to go to the mall and walk by and say, hi, how are you? And not be 6 feet apart. Won't it be so wonderful? What a great thing to look forward to, seeing the world with new eyes and a new depth of gratitude and appreciation. I went to our corner store. We have a general store. It's like one in the movies in our little 800-person town. And I hadn't been in for months. And I looked around the store and I said, your store is so beautiful. Look at this clock. It's really nice. Like I hadn't noticed their clock before. And it was this really cool clock. And I was just looking, I was like wide-eyed, so happy. I said, I am so grateful for this store. And I walked down the road with my daughter. We hadn't walked there for so long. And I went, isn't this a great place to live? That is what we're going to get to do. And those hugs, oh yeah, Sandy, Jamie, oh, all of you, oh, just like, oh, it's going to feel so, we will be so grateful. So grateful. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So true. I want to get my free hugs t-shirt out and go stand on the street somewhere and just say, okay, really. It's like a war is over almost, and it's because that's something else that I noticed as well is going to the store. And in the first few weeks of the whole COVID and social distancing and that kind of thing, and the whole self-isolation. But I found that even just going for a few groceries, I would be holding my breath going past someone. And I didn't realize it until I got to the car and I thought, why do I feel like crap? It's because I hadn't really taken a deep enough breath. And it was just because of all the information. I think I was also, Yvonne, going through like a grieving process because I was just acclimatizing to whatever the, mandates were that we needed to adhere to. So this was even before, some of the taped arrows, were on the floor kind of thing. And so then it was after that, when I became more aware of that, I started to smile at people. And you could see everyone is in fear. People don't want to look at each other. They don't, you're the enemy. You might be sick. You might be asymptomatic. We don't, all of that, the information. And so I just chose to, like Eugene, I just chose, I'm not going there. I'm not going to that list. I'm actually going to do what I can do, within what we need to do socially. And I will smile at you and you will look at me and you'll go, what? And either you'll smile back or you'll have your own process. But I thought, no, I'm not going to be a part of something I don't want to, I don't want it to continue the energy of whatever it is. I want it to be something else.
Mm-hmm. So we're all in favor of bringing hugs back, but how far are we willing to push it? Should we bring the socially not normal right now. Should I be able to walk and hold Sandy's hand and that be considered normal? Should we be pushing it that far?
Yes. when we're, when I guess the powers that be say that, that things are all good, then let's give it a try, because I think it's one of the healthiest things ever. I think that'll build your immunity faster than anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's big, right? Just being out there, because I think, right, and here's that fear thing coming up. Oh my gosh, I don't want someone to see her. I don't want to do something that's socially unacceptable these days. I mean, even walking out with my wife, yeah, we're the same family and everything, but it's like, I know people are looking. We don't wear our rings and stuff. We get sweaty and all sorts of stuff. We don't wear our rings. It's not a big deal. But these people see us, and I wonder in my mind, are they judging? And I'm curious about it. Is it disrupting them, me walking right next to my wife? Do they believe that I should have to have that 6 foot distance? And it just kind of makes me wonder, because you catch it out of the corner of your eye sometimes. Has anyone noticed that?
No. Do you want to know why? Because what someone else thinks about me is none of my business.
You bet.
I am so over that, because I'm of that age, that young age that I am, of concerning myself with what someone else thinks. I'm going to do the very best that I can do, that I understand. And there's like, my husband's a paramedic, and he is living in the house, and I know he is doing his very best. We are doing our very best. And if someone, is questioning, that's okay. They can question. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Oh, that is so freeing. Oh, it's so freeing.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
I'm doing the best I can, and that's what we're doing. Now, I will say, when I see, when we've been very conscientious of doing the best we can, and then you see someone having a great big party, like with thousands of people, I kind of get irked, and then I say, well, I can't control them. I can control me. Yep. So it's the best I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sad. We're getting to that point where we need to start to wind down. Jean, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
Well, my website is poetrytoinspire.com. And there's lots of poems on there. I'm going to revamp the homepage, which I'm not thrilled with at the moment, but it also has my books on there, and I have 3 books out: Morning Light, Christmas Poetry to Inspire, and Thanksgiving Poetry to Inspire. And the Thanksgiving is not just for Thanksgiving weekend; it's a year-round gratitude book of poems that everybody in their world, and so that's the best way to contact me. There is a contact form there, and it's mostly for people that want poems for special occasions, but just use it as a I just want to say hi.
That's like,
Sweet.
it's awesome.
That's great. Custom poetry. That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So before I get into Yvonne, she has this bracelet that's on, and we were all talking, and I think it was Sandy that just said, "I just showed up." And what does your bracelet say?
It says #I just showed up, and in all of this, and it's interesting because at this time more than ever, our I Just Showed Up movement teaches people of all ages how to just show up for themselves and others, so they are empowered and resilient when grief and life's challenges arrive. So we created these bracelets, and it has there's a little card that goes with it, and it says, when you don't know what to do, you don't know what to, well, no, the card doesn't say all this, but the whole premise is, when you don't know what to do, you don't know what to say, it's awkward, it's uncomfortable, and you can't fix it, the magic answer always is just show up. Just show up.
Wow.
Text, email, call, sit silently, and listen. Listen,
So good.
gift you could give anyone. However, the first thing on this, if you want to be able to just show up for others, you must just show up for yourself first. You have value, you matter, and the greatest version of you is your greatest gift to the world.
Yeah.
That's it.
So you had a gift you wanted to give.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If anybody wants to, you can email us through loveyourlifetodeath.com. I'd be happy to gift you a bracelet at this time with a little card. We need to connect more than ever. And connect with us. We are doing Facebook Lives to be silly. I usually do Funsy Friday, fun in a onesie, because it's already serious enough. I have an audio book. I have an online program. We've got so many resources. Follow us. There's 10 tips on navigating this challenging time. Let's just support each other and learn from one another. Just show up for each other.
So I've put the list, and you can go into the shop, and you can see that the bracelets, they're pretty funky and cool. And you can see Yvonne's got a book, a whole plethora of things. And I'm going to go back to Jean quickly. Jean, you made a poem for our Canada's 150th birthday.
Actually, I wrote a song for Canada's 150th birthday. Yes, it's a poem, but it's also, I wrote the music as well, which Sandy, you'd be very proud of me. And,
I'm already celebrating you.
And my choir, which unfortunately had to cancel all their spring concerts, but they love singing it. It's almost like an anthem, and it's just about being proud to be Canadian, and they all think it should be the national anthem, but they're a little biased. but I on Facebook I have a Our Canada page as well, so it's you can hear the song being sung and hear me reciting it there. Yeah.
I missed. So it's called Our Canada.
Canada, Our Canada. Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a copy of that on your website as well, Jean?
I think I did post the lyrics back in a couple of years ago when I wrote it. My goal, I would love to have grade 5s all across the country singing it, because it just makes you proud to. It just makes you realize how lucky we are to be here, and what a great country it is. So, yeah, that's the goal.
Awesome.
That's beautiful.
So, Sandy, is this the best place to get a hold of you?
That's one of them for sure. That'll be more of the vocal coaching, and it's a holistic vocal coaching, as well as my sound wellness on vocalenergies.com, and sandydaisy.com is for me as a performer, and it's got a few other things in there too. So I'm kind of trying to just separate the two a little bit. But I've also got a program coming up. Play with Your Voice is a series that I have done in person, but I'm moving it online for a 3-week sampler. So if anyone's interested in that, it's Vocal Energies /voice-coach.
Uh-oh. I didn't get that. My virtual assistant sucks. Wait a minute. That was me.
She's working hard back there.
Yeah.
So the other one, Vocal Energies /voice-coach.
Okay.
And that'll take you to the sampler that I'm doing on Zoom for 3 weeks in a row, starting mid-June, Tuesday nights and Saturday mornings.
Nice.
So thank you. So on the off chance that anyone wants to get a hold of you, Jamie, what's the best way, or what do you want? How do you want people to get a hold of you? If you want people to get a hold of you.
If I want people to get a hold of me, there are, of course, a multitude of ways to get a hold of me. I've got my podcast out there. That's probably one of the great ones. I think you had that up there. UE Coaching, look at that. You've got another great one up on the screen there. All you have to do is take that last C out right before the K. If you just make that last C disappear, we'd be good to go.
Oh, crap. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's on the poster like that too. Not a problem. uecoaching.com. It's a great way to get a hold of me. The website's going through a rework right now. I'm hoping to have the new website out there with a ton of available resources for people to be able to really take their business, relieve that unnecessary stress, and grow like never before.
Awesome.
Look at that. Well done, Neil. Yes.
Wow.
This is why I never send anything out without verifying. And the best thing that I ever figured out is where the spell checker is on everything. One of the subscriptions that I own is Grammarly, and it checks all my Googlings because I can look at a word and I'm going, what the heck? And it just makes sense to me.
Yeah.
The best the best spell check for me is send. Because then as soon as it's on the screen, I'm like, ah!
Well, we can be grateful for Grammarly and spell check. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And for me, the best way to get a hold of me is through my website, bestyoucanbe.ca. And if that's too complicated, I am a personal believer that everyone should own their own name as their brand. You can get a hold of me at neilthrussell.com. And anybody have any, I don't want to say last words, but what would you like to leave? Some wrap-up thoughts for our viewers, for our listeners, because this goes to a podcast as well. It goes to iHeartRadio, it goes to iTunes, it goes to Google Podcast. So your words will be immortalized in perpetuity. So no pressure, because this is your one shot at fame. Because we've been far too serious. What would you love to leave the viewers and the listeners with? And we don't have to follow our very linear way that we've gone around in a circle. We can go in any direction. But if it's linear that works for us, we can go that way as well.
Okay, I'll be a rebel and I'll start. I'm going to do it. We all know that we're in this marathon called global grief pandemic, COVID-19. We're tired, we're exhausted. And what we need to do is pull up our socks and take a deep breath. Know that although we have to grieve and acknowledge and allow our feelings, we can also create joy through this. And the greatest thing that you can do is just show up for yourself first and just show up for others, because at the end of all of this, what will matter most is what we learned, how we treated each other, and we will get through to the other side. Whether it's a new, better normal, and I'm sure it will be, we have things to look forward to, and we can create joyful moments now as well.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Awesome.
Well, for me, it's all about love. And just love does make the world go round, and we need to be the love we want to receive, because when we give love away, it always comes back, and in ways we just can't even imagine sometimes. And little acts of kindness are great, and I've had some little acts of kindness done to me that very special this last month. Just free little gifts on my doorstep. A couple of flowers the first time with no name, no nothing, just wrapped up in tissue, and then a little package of peanuts saying, "I'm going nuts without you." And a package of popcorn saying, "Just popping in to say hi." And the last was a bottle of ketchup saying, "Can't wait to catch up with you." So, that's just all about love. I mean, funny little acts of kindness that just make such a huge difference in life. So, yes, just be the love you want to have.
Beautiful.
That's beautiful.
Oh, that's awesome. And I guess for me, I would say, say what you need to say. use your voice in a way that really communicates the voice of your heart. And one of the things that I've found when it started with that smile after I stopped holding my breath when I went for groceries and passing by somebody, but that smile was accompanied with just an energetic namaste, as well as me saying something to the grocery clerk or thanking someone that was stocking shelves and, had a face protector on or whatever, and a mask sometimes. And so I just say what you need to say something that's in your heart that will, if it comes from your heart and it comes from this part of your body and goes past your heart, it can never be wrong. That's just what I've always lived by, and it's really served well. So I hope that helps someone today.
Beautiful.
So normally I like to wrap up, but today I think I'm going to let my man Jamie wrap it all up. So I'm going to butt in here, and he's like, yeah, okay.
I just like to say one more thing. Neil, your books are amazing, and people need to read your books, and they might just think, oh, I'll just buy the first one in the series. They're going to buy all three, so they might as well do it right off the bat.
There you go. Yeah, perfect.
Thank you. That is beautiful and so sweet. Thank you. So what I'm going to leave you with, I'd love to leave with you, is the thought. You are worth and worthy of every dream and aspiration that you can ever conceive of. You are worthy of all your dreams and aspirations of that God gives you. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of riches. You are worthy of this, of being healthy, happy, whole. From this place of love, you are worthy.
Thank you, Neil. Thank you.
That's great.
With that said, I definitely want to thank everyone for coming on the show today. It has been amazing to get this kind of insight, these shared ideas, this passion, this desire, this determination, this gratitude, everything that everyone shared today. That's really what this show is all about. So I really want to thank you. My parting words are simple. They're small and they're short. It's to live your life inspired. With that said, thank you everyone so much. Can't wait to catch up on the next show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thanks for the invitation.